Welcome back to Sweet Tea, Hot Topics with Rashika, and happy Tuesday. I am so ready to talk about Gerry, okay? Um, and I'll tell you why. It's because the first time that I talked about Gerry, again, I'll let you know, no one was talking about Gerry, okay? So now everybody had a moment to go and finally see what I've been talking about when it comes to your boy Gerry, okay? So, the Golden Bachelor. Okay. Now, as I said, I think in my previous show, that, he was kind of throwing me for a loop with his choices, that sort of thing. And I'm hoping that people didn't think, that I was trying to put Teresa down or anything. I was just kind of giving my opinion on what looked real and what didn't. Okay. But can we all just agree? Okay. Can we all just agree that Gerry led these last three women on? Now, when you watch the show, you can clearly see that up into those last three women, Gerry wasn't saying things like, I love you and I love you so much. He wasn't saying those things. And then when it narrowed it down to those last two women, Gerry started this whole being in the moment type of thing. And as I said last time, with him saying, I was in love with you in that moment. Okay. For me, friends, for me and for you, that should never, ever, ever be cool. Ever. Okay. It's fine with you being in the moment and you being caught up, and then you just kind of feel like, oh, this is something I want to say. This is something I want to get off my chest. But I'm going to need you to leave the love word or in love word alone. Okay. And tell me why. Tell me why it feels so much like Gerry began to make his decision when after their little get together in their little suites. Now, look at here. I'm not judging anybody. You like what you like, you do what you do, okay? We are grown folks here, right? But see, here's my deal. When you hear one of the ladies, because I don't want to mess up the name, I'll just put it here. When you hear her, was it Lisa? Anyway, when you hear her say that there was something that you said to me, and I'm gonna make sure that that video goes up. All right. But when you hear her say that there was something you said to me behind closed doors that made her feel, it made me feel as though this was it. This is the person. I was the person that you chose. So much so, friends, that she went and purchased a dress. Now, come on, like, I don't get me wrong here. I know you might come in the comments and just say something like, maybe she got in over her head. Maybe she said something that maybe he said something and then she kind of thought that it meant something else. Nope. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Nope. I don't think that that was it. I really and truly, firmly, 99% believe that Mr. Lead You On Gerry said something behind closed doors that led her on. I feel like that's all he did. The only person, friends, I got to say this part because I don't want to forget. The only person that it didn't feel like Gerry led on was Teresa. Majority of watching the show felt as if there was a bit of pity for Teresa because some people some people looked at the way Teresa came across as, I don't know, genuine. And because the other lady that was there with her had been in previous relationships, that maybe she didn't know what she wanted. Well, for me, because, this blog is about, my thoughts and your opinions, right? So for me, it looked like Teresa was making sure that that last final word always was, I can't live without you. I can't live without you. I can't live without you. If it's not the two of us, I will be devastated. If if I have to walk away, I will be devastated. Like, really? That's not something for me. That if I was, that person, that's not something for me that would make me fall deeper in love with you. But on the other hand, you have somebody else saying things like, I always wanted my happily ever after, and I've never had that before. And I've been in two previous relationships, but they ended. You know what I'm saying? And though they didn't end in death, they ended. So she did not get to that happy ever after. But she was to the place now in her life where, she's looking for that. And she felt like she could finally have that happily ever after with Gerry. And then he had his little sweet night in the suite with Teresa, and they had some conversations. And then it was his turn um, to be with the other young lady. Why is her name going to? And just take a look.
Just that I have a tough decision to make. It's harder than I ever thought possible.
Now, what kind of got me in this scene, in this whole scenario, was the whole I'm going to look you in your eyes and I'm going to talk to you and I'm going to hold you and I'm going to be here for you. And I can kind of sense that, I see that you can sense that something is different. And then I'm going to leave and then I'm going to come back and I'm just let you know that you're not the one. That for me was too much. I felt like Gerry should have just manned up, man up, man up, and said whatever he had to say in that moment. That's my feelings towards that. I don't like the whole drop the bomb on me twice. But what I did love is when she let him know in the moment what it felt like. You know what I'm saying? It was a real moment. It was an authentic moment. It wasn't, I'm going to wait until I get on stage and then I'm going to tell you about how I feel. No, it was in the moment. This is crushing. There was something that Gerry said, and I know she said that she was never going to disclose it, but I want to know because so much has now come out about Gerry and untruths. For example, they did an interview right after and with Katie Couric. And what I love about Katie is she asks the hard questions. And she was asking him about, because you guys know, this is the reason why I'm not feeling Gerry. This is why I think there was a lot of lead on. She asked Gerry if about the truths, because y'all know how the intranet is, honey. They will go and they will find some things about you because they want to know how real you are, if you lie and stuff like that. And some stuff came out, and Katie Couric was like, hold up, swole up, okay? So what's this we keep hearing about the fact that, because you guys know he said he hadn't been into a relationship since his wife had passed away. And then it comes up that Gerry had been in a relationship 3. And he was in a relationship very shortly after his wife had passed away, a 3-year long relationship. You know what Gerry says? His answer. Well, I want to just focus on where I am now. Deflection, deflection, deflection. He's always dodging the questions that really mean something. And then Teresa was over there with her whole, yeah, we talked about a lot of things, and there are a lot of things that we discussed that just weren't on camera, and da, 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 ba, 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 which led Katie Couric right on into, okay, so yeah, tell me about that. How much of it was for camera? How much of it was real? How much of it was authentic? How much of it was just for entertaining and entertainment and that sort of thing? And then Teresa, she can't wait to answer that question because Gerry, he's going to say things exactly how he thinks you want to hear it, and I don't even believe that's his real voice. Yes, yes. I don't think so. I don't think anyone talks like that. I don't think anybody could keep that very calm, sensuous, charming voice going an entire show and an entire interview. I just kind of feel like we're going to get to know more. But then, because, Gerry was like, there were times that it kind of felt like things were real and weren't real, and where you really had to kind of take a step back and go, okay, is this really basically for camera, or am I doing this because I'm in love? This is why I feel like Gerry was just saying, A, what the producers wanted to hear, B, what the women wanted to hear, and C, what he thought the audience wanted to see. Bam, boom, I'm telling the truth, okay? And then Teresa with her whole, well, if because she's Katie Couric goes, or if you tell me, do you have to kill me? She goes, yeah, if we tell you, we're gonna have to kill you. That's because we were watching the show. We were watching the show, and I mean, I work in film and television, as I've told you already. I know what it looks like behind the scenes. I know what it looked like in front of the scenes. We were watching a show, but I still believe that Gerry, in the very beginning, all the way up to the end, got caught up in the show. I think that Gerry got caught up in the cameras. And I also believe, I'm so glad this stuff is rushing back to me right now. I also believe, especially after watching the Katie Couric interview with Gerry and Teresa, I also believe that because she said it, we did not get to see the real Teresa, because she said she held back kind of into the very end of the show. She didn't show her true personality and her true feelings and that sort of thing. So when we kept seeing her get into that little spat with the lady, she wasn't being her true self. Whenever she kept coming back and she was telling the ladies, oh, well, Gerry came up to my room and he talked to me, and because I wasn't having a good day and blah, 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 I kind of feel like Teresa wasn't being her true self. All the way up until right after they did the whole, he made a decision on who he wanted to be with, and then they had to be on stage, and she was just like grabbing his arm. It was very weirdo psycho stuff to me. But to me, um, and it felt a little strange. It felt a little weird. It felt like, to me, I feel like they do deserve each other though, because I feel like now that I've learned so much about what came out about Gerry, with him, I don't have no problems with a handyman, honey. You got a job. But with him being a handyman, and just the guy that just installed these hot tubs every now and then, and selling a joint back in the 80s, it makes me kind of wonder if Teresa was the pick because she had a little bit of bread. I mean, I'm just being honest. That's what the sweet tea is all about. Okay. Sometimes I try to keep it sweet. Sometimes it might be a little sour. And then it makes me wonder, when you watch the Katie Couric's video interview, right? And you get to see her look away and look down whenever they start talking about what Gerry does for a living. She kind of looks away and she's looking down, and she's not like that tight grasp on him anymore. But in the very beginning, it felt like on the last stage, it felt like she felt like I won, like I'm the winner and I got a prize. Now it's starting to feel like, with all of this stuff, this stuff rushing out, I mean, I'm a female, I'm a woman. Y'all know how it is, women, when we just got that little in the head, like, I wonder. That's the face. That was the face I got when she kind of looked down. And then she had to fix it. Like, you know what? We talked about everything and we've talked about a lot. And there's a lot of a lot that the cameras did not catch. And a lot of scenes where we spent a lot of time together. She was like, you know what, let me fix this because I don't want people to think that I'm learning all this new stuff. Ooh, 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 ooh. I think you're learning some stuff with us, Miss Teresa. I think you are. And I also think that the other ladies dodged a bullet. And that's my tea on Gerry right there on the Golden Bachelor. All right. So y'all make sure y'all come on back to you know, chat with me right here on Sweet Tea Hot Topics with Rashika.